So, getting back to that trend of me getting whatever, I introduce you to Giana Sisters, Twisted Dreams. Long story short, Giana Sisters started life in the 80s as quite literally a Mario ripoff. That's literally the story behind it. If you look it up with developer interviews and all that, they're just like, yeah, we were literally asked to make something that looks legally distinct from Mario. Like, just enough like Mario, but not Mario at the same time. Even though it's not the most well-known series, it does have a few sequels under its belt, including Twisted Dreams. With a name like Giana Sisters, you'd probably assume the story had like two protagonists, but actually, it stars Giana, who's one person, and her sister gets kidnapped and sent to this like dream world. The reason it's called Giana Sisters is because Giana could switch between a cute persona and a punk persona. Now hold on a moment. I just came to a shocking realization. Giana Sisters does not refer to a group, but in fact one person with multiple personalities. Oh, brother, do you know what this means? It's Killer 7 all over again! There's gonna be a plot about government conspiracies and Alright, so the story isn't nearly as avant-garde as Killer 7's story, but the only other similarity I would say is that there is quite a bit of it that needs to be left up to interpretation. So the whole story doesn't have a single word of dialogue, but there are these silhouette-like cutscenes that show Giana in the real world, kind of implying that these dreams are a reflection of her real life. This is probably a good moment to mention the most unique thing about the game when it comes to its gameplay. So, as you switch between the cute and punk personas, the whole world and sometimes level design changes alongside you. If you're cute Giana, for example, the world turns into this hellscape with a couple demons and all that. But if you're punk Giana, it's a much happier world where the enemies are like these fluffy birds and cutesy things like that. Now, why does the cute persona have the frightening world and the punk persona have the cutesy world? I'm guessing it's meant to be this sort of irony between the two. If you really want to look at the story in a philosophical way, you know, maybe the reason that the cute persona has more of this frightening hellscape of a world is because it represents how Giana feels vulnerable in a world that makes her very stressed and nervous. Whereas the reason the world is all cutesy and innocent when she's in her punk persona is because she's worried about being too assertive and hurting those around her, making them the vulnerable ones. Oh, okay, I just pulled that all out of my butt. I don't know if it has a deeper meaning or not. Probably not. Outside of this gimmick, it's a pretty standard but also really fun platformer. In her cute persona, Giana can do this twirl that causes her to glide in the air for a while. In her punk persona, she's able to do this dash move that can attack enemies and even chain them, kind of like Sonic's homing attack. You can go from one enemy to the other, usually to get to a platform that's far away. I don't know if I'd call it a must-own experience. Part of the reason I got this was the novelty of the fact that the series has a reputation of ripping off Mario, even if it was just that first game. Because looking at this game, the whole level-changing gimmick really is unique, but at the same time, it is a pretty standard platformer. It doesn't do anything too unique outside of that. It's a fun time, but I wouldn't go as far as to call it a must-own just because there are definitely more unique 2D platformers out there. That being said, I don't regret playing it. It was still a good time.